happy to bring in our man Cameron Salerno for the first time here.
Yeah, man.
Long overdue. Sacramento's young sensation, young sports journalist sensation here, our guy Cam.
He's the Victor Wembanyama.
He is.
Sacramento.
He is.
Well, Damien thought I was in high school still, like about like a week and a half
I still think
ago.
you are in high school. Like, I can't believe they let you on the Sac State
How was
campus.
homecoming, Cameron?
So are you gearing up for the prom, Cam? Is especially because we saw Cam on Saturday. He had a little scrub.
Yeah, I saw that.
But he's got a date tonight. He's hanging out with some friends, so he's clean shaven. So
I told you Friday's the day to shave. I shave.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be fresh for the weekend.
Well, I got the appointment for Wednesday, bro. So
true,
I got
that.
But
Wednesday at 5:00.
Huh? Wednesday downtown, right at the media entrance. I'm getting lined up. Yeah, no, Cam looked like he's gonna go take his learner's permit test this weekend. But Cam, all kidding aside, you're doing a phenomenal job on social media.
I appreciate you.
You're doing a phenomenal job, not only covering the Sacramento Kings, but covering just sports here locally, namely high school football and Sac State. You're doing a great job. That's why we want to tell you you're doing a phenomenal job.
I appreciate that. And I have to say though, like when you're the young person in the room, you're kind of the outlier because, you know, I mean, you're in the room with probably like guys who've been doing this for 15, 20 years. And at first,
in the room with people twice your age.
Yeah. I mean, at first it was really weird, like when I first started, but now I just, you know, I've embraced it. And you just have to, at the end of the day, just know like you're doing your job and everyone's there to do theirs as well. So just, you know, just act like you've been there before. And that's the advice I always give people when they first start. But yeah, I mean, it's cool being the young guy. I mean, but as you get older, I mean, it's less cool when you do cool stuff. I put it that way. So
Brendan Nunez is probably relieved, like, oh, finally, there's someone younger than me here. There's someone younger than me.
If you don't mind me, how old are you, Kim?
21 or 22. Sorry, I'm 22. I turned 23.
You're lying. That means you're 18. You're 18 years old, Cameron.
Cameron McLovin here. OKC.
Yeah, no, I forgot my age for a second. Yeah, I turned 23 in December. So,
man, so that's dope, man. That's really dope. You're getting in here early. You're doing this. What made you want to do this? I mean, did you just love sports? Did you love covering? Did you love the media aspect of it? Like, what got you involved in sports media?
I always loved sports growing up, and I always thought it'd be cool to work in that field. I mean, it's funny, like when I first started covering the Kings, like I somehow got a media pass. I don't know how they gave one to me, but it was when I was a freshman in college. So this was like 4 or 5 years ago. And I was like a little starstruck. I mean, at first, cause it's like, wow, like these are the people I obviously grew up watching on TV. But then now it's like, I don't even think about it like that anymore. Like, cause I think the more athletes you interview, the more you realize they're just like you and me, like they're normal people. Mm-hmm. And so I would say like, as time goes on, like you just start to like know that, hey, like you're supposed to be here. And so I think what really got me into sports media though, just like I've always loved sports. I've always loved writing. I just think the reporting aspect's fun. I mean, just the goal of asking questions and getting answers and doing your job is really fun too. So yeah, I think that's what really got me into it. It keeps me in it as well.
Yeah. I still get starstruck when I see Jason Ross. I can't lie. I see Jay Ross.
One of the GOATs in Sacramento.
I see Jay Ross and the heart starts beating a little faster.
Sac State, you know, football.
Indeed.
You know what it is, ESPN 1320.
ESPN 1320 right there. Cam, for those who don't know, Cam had the original video of Bobby Wagner laying out the protester a couple of nights ago, and before you knew it, that video last time I saw it was up to like 9 million views.
That's crazy.
Cam's getting tweeted at by Adam Schefter and Robert Griffin III and all of these different people. It's like, all right, Cam.
What's funny about that is, so I saw the video obviously transpire, and I have an iPhone 13, so I obviously got a really good video of it. And I like kind of looked over. I didn't see anyone really had their camera out, so I was like, oh, I probably got this. So I typed up my tweet, and it was funny. I got a call from like one of my friends, so like I took it and I was just like talking to them, and I hung up like 2 minutes later, and like my phone was still on Twitter and it refreshed. I had like 1,000 likes in 2 minutes. I was like, oh my goodness. And what's funny about Schefter, so I have his number because I connected with him over the summer. And so I texted him. I said, hey, like, that's my video. Like, thanks for shouting me out on Instagram. And I sent him the video. That's how he posted on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, I've had a chance to talk to some like really cool people because of sports media. And the thing I tell people is like, it doesn't matter what school you go to. Like, I mean, I know there's like some big journalism schools like Northwestern and Syracuse and all that, and they teach you how to connect with like big people. But like, I've just done it on my own because I think it's really cool. Like, I've talked to Woj, like they're just all really nice people. So yeah, it pays off to connect with people. You never know, like when you might need someone, or it pays off as well. So yeah, that moment was pretty crazy. I didn't realize it was going to blow up like that.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about, being in sports media today and trying to get in. I mean, it's Syracuse and Northwestern, obviously great institutions and great lineage with what they do, but it's 2022. If you got a Twitter account, you can do whatever. That's not necessarily for this show, but that's how I connected with Damien on Twitter. Hey, I loved your episode. I love, Be Conscious. Like, that's how you can connect with these people nowadays. And, and then social media brings out the absolute worst in people. It is a terrible voice.
I agree with that 100%.
When used correctly, like Cameron does, like I try to do, it could be a great tool. It could absolutely catapult you to the places that you want to be.
I 100% agree with that. I mean, you just have to use social media smartly, and obviously, like, this, like, not everything you say people are going to agree with. Like, it could be the simplest of simplest takes in the whole wide world. Like, every good person deserves happiness, and someone's gonna be like, no, I don't think so. And so, like, there was like, I'll give you an example. So I tweeted the other day, or last Thursday night, about when Tua went out. Like, that was really serious. I talked about how, like, athletes sacrifice a lot. Like, they're away from their families, and they're away, like they need to make their money. Like, make your money. And I said in the most clear way possible, like, this is only to do with, like, professional athletes. Like, this isn't disrespecting anybody or anything. And some people were like, imagine disrespecting the military like that. And I'm like, where did I say that? Like, I just thought it was like so crazy because, like, it's like a tweet where it's like, I saw it like the previous night. I was like, you could tweet, I love pancakes, and someone will be like, why do you hate waffles? It's so true, because like you could have the clearest of clear takes, and someone will still be like, I disagree with that. I mean, it's part of the game, it's part of the business, and as you like work your way up, like the more you have to deal with it. So.
There's some exciting stuff coming up. Obviously, I think your coverage of the Kings is phenomenal, and you've been going to practices quite a bit, right?
Yeah, I've been out like at least like 1 or 2 a week just to go check it out. And what I thought was really cool yesterday is I know you guys probably talked about, but I know they're not going to make the team, obviously, because they signed deals that'll clear pathways to be on the Stockton Kings. But it was super cool to see Jordan Ford out there. I mean, obviously, as someone I covered in high school, like the first season I really covered high school basketball here in Sacramento, that was a senior year at Folsom, and just a good player, had a great career at St. Mary's, and it was cool to see him and Delvedova connect and interact on the court. I mean, those are probably the 2 best basketball players to come out of St. Mary's and probably ever, at least like program and point wise. So yeah, it was really cool to see that. But yeah, I think it's important to go to those practices, show face, like talk to people, get to know people, and it's always fun hanging out with the media here in Sacramento. I mean, all of them are really good people and just super nice as well.
I think both of those guys were cut today, by the way.
Really?
I think so. I do think.
Yeah,
I think it was just a. Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah. So
I think
thing. From my understanding, like the reason why they signed like an Exhibit 10 deal is to give like them exclusive rights to Stockton or something like that. They get like an extra like $50,000, and it's pretty much like the incentive so they don't go play overseas and they're like kind of stuck in Stockton for 60 days. But yeah, it still was cool to see him out there, and so
yeah, for sure. I had a tweet earlier just simply asking, I had the schedule laid out, and said, what do you think the Kings are going to do in the first 10 games? I had them at 5-5. Cam kind of hedged a little bit, but I understand it. That's why I want to give him the opportunity to expand on it a little bit. He said the floor for them is 3-7. The ceiling is the roof.
It is,
but it's also 7-3.
Brought to you by ACR Solar.
Yeah, there we go. ACR. Shout out to my. I talked to him the other day, by the way. We working. Yeah, Cam. So expand on that a little bit.
Yeah, I think their floor should be at least 3 wins. I mean, when last season they started 5-5. I mean, they started 5-4 when they beat the Hornets by like a lot. They scored like 150, and then they obviously lost the next game, and then they went on to lose a lot of games. And Luke Walton got canned. But I mean, you look at the schedule; it is tough. I mean, you have obviously Portland, you have the Heat twice, you have the Warriors twice, you have the Cavs, who are going to be pretty good this season. But I mean, at the end of the day, like they should beat Portland. Like if they want to make the play-in or be serious, they have to beat Portland. I know it's not a must-win game, but if you at the end of the season you want to have that head-to-head advantage against them, then the Clippers I think could be a winnable game too. They're probably going to be a top 3 seed in the Western Conference. The Warriors will be a tough game, and then obviously the Grizzlies, the Hornets, and Magic should be pretty winnable. So I think those are your 3 wins right there: Portland, Orlando, and Charlotte. But I mean, besides that, like I mean, it really depends. Like how I look at it is this: when I was in high school, I wasn't a good basketball player whatsoever, and so I was one of the kids at tryouts who, you know, you look around the room and you're like, all right, that kid's getting cut, that kid's getting cut, and that kid is definitely getting cut. And so you're like, all right, so it's either going to be me or him. And so how I look at it is like with the schedule, you look at how they're playing, and it's a lot of teams are going to be like, oh, the Kings are an easy win. Like that's how these teams are going to look at it. And you can't look at it like that. So I would say, you know, the Grizzlies could be a winnable game. I mean, everyone could be a winnable game. But, yeah, I think at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to, like, how good this team really is. I mean, are they going to play like they did in the first 2 preseason games, or are they going to play like they did the other day?
One thing before we let you go, Cam, that we're really excited about, Coach David Patrick, Sac State men's basketball. He's joining us every Tuesday beginning next week. So he's going to be a big part of our show, and we're going to ramp up our coverage of the Sac State Hornets and their obviously their incredible football program right now with Troy Taylor, and their basketball program as well. And I know you're pretty amped up for the Sac State basketball season coming up. Yeah,
they open up with UCLA. They're gonna be solid this year, and they have like a whole entire new roster, which is crazy. Just that's how the transfer portal is.
Right.
I think they only had maybe 3 or 4 guys coming back from last year, so it just shows how the transfer portal could be effective. But I think they're going to be really solid this year. David Patrick's a great recruiter. I got to meet him on Saturday. I think you guys probably met him that day too. Just a really down-to-earth guy, and it seems like a really good guy to lead the program. And, I mean, you mentioned it too with Sac State football. They're having a great year. I mean, it's pretty exciting knowing that. So next weekend, I think Sacramento might have a home playoff game, and it's the same day the Kings play the Clippers, and obviously Sac State plays Montana, which is on ESPN too. I mean, that's a huge day in Sac sports history. I mean, I know it's no Kings playoffs or anything like that, but I mean, obviously the Kings regular season game, Sac Public home game, and obviously probably the biggest game in Sac State football history, at least in the regular season.
And you were 6 the last time the Kings made the playoffs. We don't need to reference that time. Like it's a big day in recent memory for sure.
It was funny. Like that just reminded me how like Deuce replied to my tweet about that. How I said the last time the Kings were good, I was in elementary school. So I saw Deuce yesterday. We're walking like into the media entrance. It was me and him, and he like I put my like wallet down, like go through security, and he's like, Cameron, like, why do you have such a big wallet? And I'm like, I didn't have a bunch of gift cards, so I cleaned it out for him. If Deuce is watching, like my wallet,
you got the holes. Oh, that's still a pretty thick wallet there, Cam. Like,
I mean, there's like 5 cards in here. Like, if
we gotta hit you. Oh,
there's like
man.
5 cards in there, man. So
is it a
I cleaned it out.
Is that 3-fold?
Yeah.
Oh, Cam, we gotta
come on, bro.
We
You're lucky because Deuce is texting me right now. He asked me. He said, "Yo, ask him about his wallet, man. Ask him about his wallet."
I hope Deuce is watching right now. So.
Oh, he's definitely watching. He's
watching. Hey, my girlfriend got me this wallet for Valentine's Day a few years ago. It's a special wallet. I like it. It's nice. It gets the job done. I know Deuce was telling me how like he doesn't need a wallet, and he has like his little like clip on the back of his case where he just has his ID and like one debit card. So yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there.
Look at Cameron Russell Wilson Solano showing his commitment by having
keep the wallet forever, buddy. If you know what's good for you, that wallet will be with you for a very, very long time.
You're probably
Cam, this was awesome. We're looking forward to many conversations together again. And again, man, super proud of you. Super excited to see your growth in sports media here in Sacramento, man. We appreciate you.
I appreciate it. And likewise, guys, you're doing an amazing job, and you're definitely making the 916 proud for sure.
We
Thank
are,
you, bro.
We are. No, thanks, Cam. We appreciate you, buddy. Thanks, Cameron. Cameron McLovin right there.